I am. Hey, it is great to see you. I am just getting back in town from Death Valley and finding myself with all my gear all scattered all over the place. It was an incredible trip. I was up there for 3 days. I got some really cool photography in. Actually met up with a few months ago. You may recall I interviewed a Jeff Sullivan. He does a lot of interviews, and actually he is... Nope, I thought I had his book in here. It's still in my car. He has a number of books on some of the hot locations in California with, the actual coordinates of where to go to find these spots. And so it turns out I was heading up to Death Valley to meet up with Turtleback Trailers. They had a herd event where for the next 4 or 5 days, everybody's traveling. They're covering like 300 miles. So a lot of really cool stuff. But it turns out Jeff Sullivan was doing a workshop up there. I'm like, oh my God, I would love to be able to meet you in person. So I was able to meet them Saturday morning. Got some cool shots. Was able to see these guys in action. That was a lot of fun. So, and also which you'll see in the oncoming weeks, I'll probably push this next item out about 3 weeks from now. Manfrotto sent one of their Tough 55 hard cases. It's a new case that they just came out with for me to play around with and do a review on. And what's strange about this is I've never been a hard case fan. I've never owned one, never really had any desire to get one. And so they sent this over to me to play around with. In Death Valley, I figured it would be a good time to play around with this thing. I have to say, it's exceeding my expectations. I'm really liking this thing a lot more than I thought I would. But more on that here, probably about 2 or 3 weeks, and so we can have a month review on that. But today's video is not about Death Valley. It's not about a hard case. It is about who, out of the metal prints that we tested this year, is going to be crowned as the winner for 2021 Shootout. Now, if this is your first video, I'm going to give you kind of a snapshot. Last week we announced the winner of our Canvas Print Shootout, which we've been doing those videos for the last 3 years. As a matter of fact, this was the first year that we've done a video series on the metal print. You may recall last year we just did it kind of article form. This year, what we did was we kind of followed the same footprint that we did with the Canvas print, and that is creating small little bite-sized videos where you're able to see me open up each of the metal prints that we were testing for that year, and we go through a kind of a gauntlet of kind of exploring how things are packaged, things I like, things I don't like. You may agree, you may not. At the end, we gave them a score based upon the metal prints 1, 2. There were 6 criteria that we scored these things on. And those things that we scored them on, we gave them either a 1 through a 5 kind of a scoring process. So the max points that a particular company can get is 30 points. Now this year, we tested 6 companies. We had Costco, we had Whitewall, we had Artbeat Studios, Bay Photo, MPix, and Pictorium. I think I got them all. Right. And so for the last handful of months, you've been seeing me come in front of you here with these unboxings. And again, we create them in their own individual videos. So therefore, it's easier for if you're going out there and wanting to get you're thinking about getting a Bay Photo metal print, for example. You can type in Bay Photo and you're able to get a small bite-sized video that is laser targeted for, well, if you go out there and buy that print, what you can expect. And so this year was a pretty interesting group. And I say pretty interesting group because unlike the canvas prints that we did, if you watched the winner of the Canvas Print Shootout last week, we had a large, kind of almost a third on the bottom, third in the middle, and then there was a handful up on the top. With this here, we have kind of, as you'll find out with the scoring system here in a minute, and I keep looking down at my notes here, you'll find that we had a area where most of the companies were really setting. We had one that was much lower than the rest. And then, of course, we had our winner itself. Now, one thing I do want to point out why we conduct the videos that we do, or what we're doing right now, is because as a consumer, you go to Google, you type in best metal print, and you have a number of websites out there that are showing a list of companies that make metal prints. And they're showing the leader in this, basically a list form of these various companies. And if you look at some of these results, these companies are using stock images from the companies that make these metal prints. And I think that's unfair for you because that shows that they've never even touched these metal prints. And you, the consumer, is going out to these companies based upon the clout or based upon the recommendations that this company is saying. And this is the top #1 metal print that you can get your hands on, but they never touched it, so they don't know that. They're going off of who's paying them the most or through affiliate links. And so we do it a little bit different. So we open up the print in front of you, so therefore you're able to see what, if you go out to one of these companies, what you can expect in terms of what your dollar is going to get you. And again, I'm going to give you my opinion based upon things that I notice with these things. Again, you may agree, you may not. But the important thing here is if you go out there and purchase a print from from one of those companies, you have a little bit of understanding as far as what your dollar is going to get you. That said, let's get into what the different categories that we scored are. So we have color, frame, sharpness, noise, presentation, shipping. And again, these things are scored from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst that you can get, 10 being the absolute best. Now color, this one's important for obvious reasons. I'm looking at, is there any banding? I'm looking at if I'm trying to match up the original image that I sent. Which one has in terms of a print getting as close to that original color of the photo that I sent in. Frame, now granted, frame is behind the print, something that you don't see, but this is important. A lot of you are drop shipping these or blind shipping these to clients. And when a client opens that up, they're inspecting to see what their money got them. And if that print has bad curb appeal or that bad first impression, it's your reputation that's on the slinger, probably more so than the company that printed these things. Because a lot of these companies, as we found out, will ship these things, will ship them unbranded. And so the consumer sees that print as representation of who you are, your craft. So if a frame has gaps in it or is sloppy or just doesn't do what it's supposed to. Now, all these things do what they're supposed to, but some present themselves a lot cheaper. Some are much more robust. And we saw some that just simply had some gaps and just kind of look like they were constructed very loosely. So that's where the frame category comes in. Again, 1 to 5. Sharpness, pretty straightforward. How is the sharpness of the image? Is it soft or is it overcooked or is it just right? We have noise, same as sharpness. We're looking to see the level of noise in the photo itself or in the print itself. Is it too little? Is it too much? And then, I don't think there's too little, but you get the point. Presentation, and presentation is that overall curb appeal. When you pull it out, bam, what is that initial, what are those feelings that you get when you take a look at that print as you pull it out? And of course, shipping. Shipping kind of covers how it was packaged, and this is an important one as well. I've discussed this many times, and I'll use Whitewall for a good example. I have Whitewall prints in my house. I like the company, but these things are coming from Germany, so this is a really long haul for that print to be drop-kicked from Germany all the way over here to the States. So you want that thing to be packaged pretty darn good, because if it's not, that thing's going to get damaged and the consumer has to deal with getting that swapped out. So we look at shipping and how these things are packaged. So that said, in all of these, when they're added up, a perfect score is going to equal 30. Now, I'm going to kind of shift gears here a little bit, and we're going to dive into, we'll do what we did like last week with the canvas prints. We'll start with the worst and we'll work our way up. So starting in at 15 points was Costco. Then we have Pictorium, and Pictorium, I was a little surprised with this one because on the canvas print, these guys kicked ass. These guys were the company that came the runner up. I think with a few changes, they could easily take the crown for the 2022, but there was a few things that they would have to adjust. With this one, they're on the bottom side with a score of 19. And then Whitewall right above them with 20. I was actually surprised with Whitewall because, again, I like that company. So those are the bottom three. You have Whitewall with 20, Pictorium with 19, and Costco at the very bottom with 15. Now, starting up at the top three, we have three companies. We have Bay Photo, Artbeat Studios, and MPEX. Starting off in third place this year, MPEX with a score of 21. Then we have Bay Photo at 22, and well, obviously you kind of picked up who's in the number one spot there. That is Artbeat Studios with a 28. That said, the two runners up, Artbeat Studios and Bay Photo, They both make a really good print, but at the end of the day, there could only be one. Congratulations, Artbeat Studios, for securing the 2021 Best Metal Print Shootout. Now, everybody watching, if you've not seen the reviews or you want to take a look at some of the companies that we have reviewed this year, I'm going to put a link in the description to each one of those. That said, my friend, it's that time of the video where I'm going to ask you to do all that YouTube stuff that is oh so valuable to the channel. So if you found some value with this whole series, hit that like button down below. It really does help with the whole YouTube algorithm. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We'd love to have you part of the family. And while you're at it, hit that bell so therefore you're notified each time that we come out. Actually, speaking of which, hitting the bell, you're going to be notified each time that we come out with a new video. But actually, if you want to see, if there's a company that you would like to see us review part of 2022, leave that comment down below. Let us know which companies that you would like to see us test for 2022. That said, guys, I'm going to be jumping out of my studio. You get out there, stay healthy, and find your best shot.